What's good, y'all? Elite, the one. How you guys doing out there? And welcome back. We have made it to another holiday season. What's good? We here, man. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Appreciate everybody who pulls up every single day. Just dropped the video, so make sure you guys check that one out. It will be in the lower chat of my overall channel. Appreciate all the new subscribers who have been pulling up. You guys have been showing mad love. And so today, right? Today we're going to be talking about FBA staying focused, right? I've been seeing a lot of distraction tactics going on lately, and I wanted to use this day to kind of talk about all of it, give it a nice platform for all of us to kind of look at, pay attention to what's going on, be informed, and make sure that we're paying attention to all the fodder that's going on in the background. So first of all, we're definitely going to make sure that we bring up a lot of these topics that I've been seeing, a lot of distraction tactics that have been going on in the community, right? A lot of people talking down on the foundational Black American lineage. All right. They're trying to call it a co-op from, the federal government. They're trying to say that we're a cult. They're doing everything they can, right, to water down the movement, right, and to make sure that what we're doing is looked at as something that needs to be spoke out against, right? When all we're doing is representing our lineage, we're gatekeeping all the BS, and we're making sure that we're bringing to the forefront all of the F stuff that's been going on in the background, and we're tired of it. So Black Americans have taken a stance to delineate from everyone else in the diaspora. We're no longer calling ourselves, or we are not acknowledging, right, the fact that we are foundational Black Americans. We are actually representing our lineage. We are actually representing who we are through this movement and through us do our own genealogy, a lot of us building our own, right, family trees to make sure that we are giving the right factual information that backs up our feelings of what we're seeing going on in the world right now, right? And so first, let's bring this guy up, right? Professor James Small, right? Everyone's been talking about Professor James Small. He's been on a complete tear. He's gone turncoat. Initially, he was pro foundational Black Americans. Now he has turned against us. He has said that our lineage has now been co-opted by the FBI. He has gone out of his way to talk down on what Black Americans have been doing. And now he's going out of his way to say that it's been co-opted by, those alphabet organizations that are part of the U.S. government, right? And so from my perspective, I was just very curious to hear this from this brother, right? Because ultimately, we've got evidence and receipts of him saying exactly what a lot of us as Black Americans have been saying, and him himself have actually said himself. So first of all, what we're going to do is bring up the receipts, right? Because on Elite Media, y'all know we come with the receipts here. We don't just let people talk crazy and then not have to be held accountable and show the hypocrisy. And also, like I said, turncoats, right? Guys who have been infiltrated into our organizations and our movements, right? To distract foundational Black Americans from the goal. And this is exactly what he's been sent to do, right? He's been sent, right, to go ahead and take all those other older foundational Black Americans and have them looking at us, the ones who are pushing the narrative, who are pushing the line right now, and try to make it seem like we're radicalized or that we're going against the grain, right? So what we're going to do first, like I said, we're going to bring up the receipts, right? Because that's what we do at Elite Media, man. We bring receipts. And I don't have time, right? I don't have time for these type of guys who are just
You got
liars,
the African
bro.
Day Parade. You don't see the Africans. You got the festival that be going on in Brooklyn.
Check this out, y'all.
The band festival, the African festivals. Where's the Africans at? When we doing our rallies and our marches, where's the Africans at on your side? Talk to us really about that, man.
See, let me tell you something. We think slavery in America was something. Slavery in Africa is still in force. You talking about deaf, blind, and dumb. Don't confuse you because somebody got on some printed cloth that's printed in Holland or India that you're looking at an African cultural expression.
All right, guys, look, this is him. All right, this is the same guy who was just talking that Pan-Africanist, that, oh no, foundational Black Americans are a cult, they're FBI, they're CIA. This is the same guy right here, guys. Pay attention. Like I said, these are the type of people that they will use to infiltrate into movements, right? To be spokespeople to say, nah, don't go with them, go with this, right? And this is who we're talking about. This guy right here, this brother right here, guys. All right, continue.
That's not an African cultural expression. That cloth was printed in a European country and then sold to Africans. And they've accepted that as their cloth. You understand what I'm saying? Just that piece. Now, they do speak the language, but they know less about their history than you and I do.
This is all facts. This is all facts, guys. Like I tried to tell y'all, this is what they do, okay? We know what's going on. We understand what's at stake, right? But like I said, there are people who are a part of this, who are co-opt, right? Who have money behind them to do other things, right? Who are represented by and for themselves and for special interest groups. Now, you can't tell me that Professor James Small can come on here, right, and talk about Black Americans when he's only been pressing the line in the past, right? These are the receipts right here, guys. Look at this.
So you've got a deaf, blind, dumb, backwards person speaking an African language, coming from the African country, came here to be a parasite on their own people, with no respect for themselves as human beings, and then because they speak a language, try to play you off like they got something culturally that you don't have.
Right.
The most culturally enforced African in the world is the African American.
Right. Yes, Professor James. No doubt. We know this. But like I said, on Elite Media, we have to bring the receipts, guys, because like I said, this guy is going on podcasts, talking down on foundational Black Americans. He is trying to divert the focus and also the unity, right? And also the organizational aspect, right? Foundational Black Americans are organizing, right? We're using our platforms to connect with one another. We're using the internet how it's supposed to be used, networking. Right? Putting things together. On this channel, I have posted legislation that's happening right now for foundational Black Americans. I have also made videos about the cultural relevancy of Black Americans right here on this channel. So there's no way that Professor James Smalls can come on here and then go ahead and try to turncoat when he himself has spoke the same things that we have right now. Listen to this.
Most of the movements that have changed the world, that allow all ethnic nations to profit, has been our movement. And so we get peed on and played down because these people are so punked out and scared of the white man that they feel because they're scared of the white man, they got to be against us.
Are they our people, brother, or are we our own people now?
No, we got to understand two things. We have a race and then we have an ethnic place.
Listen, man, these are all things that Black Americans are talking about right now, y'all. This is something that we have all talked about. We've all discussed. We are all on the same accord when it comes to this. So when James Small is coming out here trying to divert and distract, trying to take focus away from what is happening right now within the foundational Black community, right? We cannot allow this. We have to stand on business every single time because Professor James Smalls is a liar. He has played himself into this position by speaking against something that he is for deep down in his heart. And like I said, we have people who have been co-opted, who have special interest money and special interest groups behind them used to point the finger when they are actually the culprit. Do not allow Black Americans to lose focus on what the actual goal is right now. We don't have time to be focused on little guys like Professor James Small, who has not contributed anything to the movement. Okay? Tariq Nasheed has already said this guy has not contributed anything to this community or this movement. So why are we continuing to allow our focus to be shifted by guys who can go around on the internet lying? Because listen, this is him telling the truth right here.
We African Americans. Just like a guy from Africa, he can say he's African, but there's no country called African. He's either Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, or something. That's his ethnic nation. Racially, we are together, but economically, we may well be enemies.
Can y'all stop me, please? Let me know in the chat, whatever, if what he's saying right now is off base. If this isn't exactly what all Black Americans have been saying, right? And the fact that the delineation is happening because of this. Having to compete with people who we thought had our backs, fighting for those who couldn't fight for themselves, giving them a platform to come here and to be able to grow and take this thing to the next level. And this is the thanks we get, right? As Black Americans, this is the thanks we get for helping others, right? The Pan-African movement, right? We can go ahead and roll out the red carpet for them, but they would never do that for us. Straight up. All right, we got somebody in the chat. This is Beat Active. Salute to Beat Active. He says, but FBA always said that FBA being a lineage, now they want to be a movement. Well, a movement is not talking on the internet, but instead going outside and accomplishing a real movement. Okay, Mr. Beat, I want you to understand that I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because maybe you're new to the channel. But you should probably go on my channel and look at the last couple of videos that I posted. Like I said earlier, there is now legislation being passed right now where I'm at in California that represents foundational Black Americans. There's already been legislation for us to try to get reparations here in California. Okay, it didn't pass, but we pressing the line. All right, so Mr. Beat Active 8075, I would much rather you go and do the research before you can hop in the chat and talk about what Black Americans are not doing. Because guess what? There's a lot of stuff happening right now, a lot of movement, because that's the word to be used. Right now, foundational Black Americans are moving. We're not just on the internet. We are using the internet because that is how the internet is supposed to be used. We run the internet. So of course, we use the internet for advocacy, for organization, and also for representation, public relations, and programming. All this is what we use the internet for strategically. That's why every trend, everything that happens right now is based on foundational Black Americans. The word delineation, I've never heard it this much since we started using it. Mr. Beat Active. Beat Active. Like I said, I think you should check my channel and look at what's really going on with foundational Black Americans, because it isn't just us talking on the internet anymore, family. There is actual movement happening right now. This is not imaginary, sir. Unfortunately. And like I said, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you did not do your research. And that's what a lot of people do on the internet these days. They get on the internet and they just say stuff without doing any research. That's what I'm here for. All right. I created my channel based on research, study. All right. Understanding what's going on in the government. And guess what? Actually being boots on the ground, sir. The stuff that I'm doing, I'm out here on the streets, bro. I'm out here doing what needs to be done. All right. You can come out here to Long Beach. We run a food bank for the people. All right. I got a lot going on, family. So I really think you should take some time to understand what's going on. Right. OK, so Beat Active comes back in the chat and he says again, FBA is a lineage, not a movement. A movement has leadership. And because FBA is a lineage, it clearly means that FBA is not a movement. Bro, you have to stop playing the semantics and open your mind. All right. I'm trying to dumb it down for you, sir. OK, I said movement in conjunction to the action word. move. That is what Black Americans are doing. There is movement happening within our community to what? Push forward our narratives. You don't think all this stuff just came out of nowhere? No. And that's why you're saying that. You can discredit, but you cannot stop it. And that's what Tariq Nasheed meant when he was talking about FBA as a lineage specifically. They can't stop it because it's more than just one person saying do this or do that. It is a bunch of us, a whole nation of us who are represented under this lineage, okay? Our direct descendants, okay? Our family tree, straight up, native roots right here in this country. So, of course, you can say whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, FBA is moving, all right? It is a movement because it is moving. It is an action word, family. So salute to you, once again, Beat, but you're wrong. You're just a liar. So back to the story. Professor James Smalls, let's continue to hear what he had to say about Africa.
And we have to be clear on that, that our economic enemy is just that. And if you deal with your economic enemy like it's your friend, you're going to be the loser at the end of the day. Now, we raised the question of Pan-Africanism in this hemisphere. You know, we had the brothers from Trinidad, and then you had W.B. Du Bois, and we created this phenomena. But Africa has never created a Pan-African movement.
We've been saying this, guys. There has never been a pipeline, right, that was created in Africa specifically for Black Americans. But at every turn, Black Americans have done that for them. And like I said, where's the thanks that we give for this? Rolling out the red carpet, right? Helping all these people, making sure that they're taken care of before ourselves, right? How selfless of Black people, Black Americans, to go out of our own way, right? To look out for those who aren't looking out for themselves, right? Those who are fleeing their country, those who are not choosing to stay in the pocket. We here trying to do that for them. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man, because I'm cooking right now. But at the end of the day, this is true. We are the salt of the earth when it comes to this country. We are the ones, we are the standard that is set. And success, the success story of Black Americans is the success story of America. Coming from nothing, making yourself into something, changing the narrative, changing the world. Okay, that is our story as Black Americans, y'all. So yeah, we're gonna stand on business because we ain't got time to be distracted by the bullshit. Excuse my language, of course, but we don't have time for this shit.
You understand? Africa has never really supported a Pan-African movement. We had a couple of people in Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere and Mugabe, but most of Africa never gave a damn about a Pan-Africanism.
Oh my God, guys, this is why I come on here to bring receipts. All right, we bring receipts. This is what James Smalls was talking before he was co-opted by whoever he's co-opted by. It's preferably some foreign African country, right? But this is what he was saying, and this is true. Until he got that in his pocket, he was fine talking this crap. Right? Bro, you're still caught up on the word movement and stuff. Beat, we're past that, dog. You can talk to yourself in the chat, bro. We're past that now. So continue. This dude had this to say about the Africans until he was co-opted, which he is now, right? He is an agent. Okay? This is what he was talking. Straight up, listen to this.
Enemy is just that. And if you deal with your economic enemy like it's your friend, you're going to be the loser at the end of the day. Now, we raised the question of Pan-Africanism in this hemisphere. You know, we had the brothers from Trinidad, and then you had W.B. Du Bois, and we created this phenomena. But Africa has never created a Pan-African movement.
Never.
You understand? Africa has never really supported a Pan-African movement.
Never.
We had a couple of people in Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere and Mugabe, but most of Africa never gave a damn about a Pan-Africanism.
Y'all hear it
because they're still bogged down in the colonial slavery of European Judeo-Christian indoctrination, which is worse than anything that we've suffered.
Okay? This is the Pan-Africanist. This is the guy who says that we're the ones who are CIA operatives. We're the ones who have infiltrated into the movement to cross division. That's what he said. This guy who we right here is saying everything that we talk about as foundational Black Americans. You want to know why he's saying that? Because it's the truth. All right, this is the truth that he's speaking right here. Regardless of where he is now, this is where he used to be. With Sonetta in New York on a corner in Harlem. All right. So when I looked at what was going on, when I saw this stuff starting to bubble up and I started to see a lot of the Black American channels talking about this, I said, man, this is a distraction. Right. And that also told me that we are actually making headway. Because this is what happens. As soon as stuff starts to bubble up, as soon as stuff starts to get serious, as soon as stuff starts to move in a certain way, you're going to start seeing a lot of these people who have been co-opted to say, no, this is, you know, a cult, y'all. They're calling us a cult because we are taking ownership of our lineage, right? Because we're not allowing them to dictate who we are anymore. Because we're telling them, hey, you guys treated us like this for so long. I bet we're going to treat you like this. And guess what? We're also taking our money and our affluence with us. All right. We got tired of it and we moved it on. All right, cool. That's what y'all on. Let us go ahead and combat that with what we're on. And so once we took that to that level, now look. Now nobody got nothing to say, y'all. And that's cool because at the end of the day, when it comes to the movement, like this brother trying to speak on, it's bigger than just us. We ain't doing this just for us. All right. There was a lot of people who did a lot of great things, right, in the name of Black Americans, and they deserve to be celebrated for that. And we will not allow people to come in here and go ahead and discredit and try to downplay and try to play in our face without giving us the recognition and the support that we are actually owed. All right. I don't got time for people talking crazy about this other stuff when I had ancestors who were literally living on acres of farms. OK, and they got finessed out of that type of stuff. Nah, man, we ain't finna let that happen. Like he said, enemies among us. Listen to this.
Worse than anything that we've suffered. The illusion of the clothes and the language make us think we're dealing with somebody that has some African purity culturally and spiritually. You're dealing with a confused, backwards Christian that love Europe more than they love their own ancestors.
Listen, man, this is what he was saying before he was co-op, y'all. All right. Like I said, when it comes to this stuff, we got to stay focused. We cannot allow people who literally, you can go on the internet and find this. I found this in 2 seconds because I remembered it, right? A lot of people who've been on the internet as long as I have, who have been in the industry, who have been around, all right, who understood when the conscious community was really at the height on YouTube. We remember this type of stuff. And so when I went back, I'm like, nah, bro, I remember him. And boom, found that shit in 2 seconds. All right. And this is the same dude, like I said, who was just talking that Pan-Africanism, that FBA is being divisive, that FBA is co-opted by the CIA and the FBI. Meanwhile, he's over here speaking the truth just a couple years ago, man. All right. So that's why I had to bring this to the forefront. At Elite Media, we do not play that. We're going to bring the receipts every single time. And we're going to hold people accountable who have something to say against Black Americans. Because I got to represent not only for me, my family, and also the future. Like I said, it's bigger than just us as Black Americans. We tired of what's been happening over this time, all this time that we've been fighting, bro. And for it to get taken away and co-op, please. We ain't finna be playing that, bro. When we had James Smalls just saying this, listen.
They would not even use an African word for God. You know, in Ghana, if you talk about being a traditional African, you might get beat down in the street. You understand? You're ostracized on the radio. Movies are made to show African culture as being the devil, while Christian culture is coming in as the savior. This is TV shows and on TV in Nigeria and Ghana every day.
Listen, man, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. What else do I need to say? Right? We just gonna bring the receipts. Like I said, I'm not playing with this. I saw James Small. I saw what he was saying. I saw that stupid little live stream that he was on. And I said, nah, bro, I remember him. Let me go ahead and bring this to the forefront because he playing games, trying to put jackets on a lineage. We ain't no organization. This is a lineage, y'all. We are foundational Black Americans. That's who we are. I don't see how that could be co-opted by anything when we are only saying, hey, this is who we are. This is what we represent. And y'all can't take it no more. You can't understand that we are delineating from all the BS. Y'all been treating us like this for a minute. We good. Leave us alone. Let us figure it out. Y'all been telling us for so long to get our communities together, to figure it out, right? Clean up your community. Okay, let's get it going. That's what we starting to do now. They mad at young brothers for wearing half zips on now. They saying that, oh, that's elitist. Because the brothers want to wear a half zip and stop wearing Nike Techs, bro. You guys not see what's going on? Like I said, stay focused, Black Americans. Stay focused. Because right now, they are trying to co-opt the movement. And like I said, I'm going to bring this back for you guys because it needs to be brought right up to the forefront again.
You got the African Day Parade. You don't see the Africans. You got the
this is James Small,
the festival that be going on in Brooklyn.
Black Americans.
The band festival, the African festivals. Where's the Africans at? When we doing our rallies and our marches, where's the Africans at on your side? Talk to us really about that, man.
See, let me tell you something. We think slavery in America was something. Slavery in Africa is still in force. You talking about deaf, blind, and dumb. Don't confuse you because somebody got on some printed cloth that's printed in Holland or India that you're looking at an African cultural expression. That's not an African cultural expression. That cloth was printed in a European country and then sold to Africans.
This is who we are talking about here, guys. All right. This dude, like I said, was just talking crazy about foundational Black Americans, y'all. We got to stay focused. We cannot let dudes like this distract us from the objective, right? We can't be distracted. We can't allow this BS to go on in the background while other things are happening in our community, right? In America, where we got to fight every single day, right? What are we going to do? We're just going to keep letting stuff go on? No, we standing on business and they don't like that, right? Because like I said, there's so much going on behind the scenes, right? They're trying to make it. They're trying to make false equations to Black Americans, right? Y'all want to speak down on Black Americans, right? Y'all want to say that Black Americans are co-opted by the government and what's going on. Let me show you guys what's really happening here. All right, let's take a look at somebody who was supposed to be for the people. Rep. Sheila Sherfilis McCormick charged with stealing $5 million in FEMA funds. All right. This woman of Haitian descent is out here right now causing havoc. $5 million in funds are supposed to go from FEMA and went straight into her pocket. Let's talk about it.
Thank you for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Louis Aguirre.
And I'm Janice Fernandez. We want to get right to your top story tonight. Breaking news. A South Florida congresswoman indicted, accused of stealing millions of dollars in federal disaster funds and using the money to support her congressional campaign.
Hey, professor, why are you not talking about this? Right? FBA is co-opted by the government, but this is somebody who is an actual congresswoman. All right? Caught stealing money and appropriating funds into her own pocket. Why are you not talking about this, Professor James? Nah, you don't want to talk about that, right? You want to stay around that because guess what? Guys like you benefit from this type of corruption that goes on right now. And it's Black Americans like us who have to pay the bill for this. Taxpayers who working every single day for this woman to take funds and then be able to misappropriate them $5 million.
Congresswoman Sheila Sherfilis McCormick now facing federal charges.
She'd already been under investigation by the House Ethics Committee this summer. We have team coverage of the indictment tonight. Local 10's DC Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy standing by with reaction.
hold on real quick. Let me go ahead and address this. Yeah, FBA Maroon, salute to you, bro. Thank you for coming through. Yes, sir. Please get those tethers up out of here, man. This is what's going on right now. We seeing what's happening, y'all. Why is James Smalls not talking about this? All right. This congresswoman in Florida who is stealing money. All right. Misappropriating funds up to $5 million. Why is James not talking about this? But you want to talk down on Black Americans. You want to say that we're the ones who are co-opted by the government when you have government officials who are actually stealing money from Americans, okay? She is of Haitian descent, all right? She is not looking out for anyone but herself and her family. He's a scrub. You right about that, FBA.
Washington, but we begin.
Make sure you subscribe.
Aaron Mabin in Miramar.
Make sure y'all subscribe. Show me some love. We trying to make it happen over here.
Within the last
Thank you so much, everybody who's tuned in.
Congresswoman said they plan to fight to clear her name.
Everybody feels like they're under attack.
Tonight, a federal grand jury indicting Congresswoman Sheila Sherfilis McCormick and several associates, accusing them of stealing millions in federal disaster funds, laundering the money, and using part of it to support her 2021 congressional campaign.
So look, guys, refunneling that money back into her own campaign, guys, taking money that is literally supposed to be going into her district. Why is James Smalls not talking about this? All right, he has so much to say about Black Americans and what we're doing. Like I said, distraction tactics. Black Americans, stay focused. Foundational Black Americans, stay focused. This is the type of stuff that's going on. And we need to be focused on this, getting people like this out of our governments and making sure that we are protecting our governments, putting people in government who are first American and who are American first. All right, who are going to be looking out for us, foundational Black Americans. We don't have time for people like this who are misappropriating funds. All right. And when they say campaigns, those campaigns can equate to nothing, meaning that money goes right back into their own pocket. It doesn't go anywhere. It's invisible money. Right. Salute to FBA Maroon. Salute to you, brother. He says FBA delineations is hurting people's pockets. You're damn right. Because guess what? Guess who has the most powerful dollar in this country? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You looking at them right here. All right, us, okay? Who sets the trends? Who's the most stylish? Who's running this thing? It's us, Black Americans, straight up. Salute, he back in the chat. He says, Reek helped Smalls with money with his hotel in Africa. Then this N-word switched up on FBA. Facts. That's exactly what happened, all right? Tariq Nasheed made it clear that he's gone out of his way to help this brother. Professor Smalls went out of his way to hurt us. Think about that. All right. Money don't mean nothing to these people. Loyalty, nothing. They'll do anything for the most money. No backbone, no spine. Black Americans don't move like that. We move on honor. We move on backbone. You say you're going to do something, that's your word. And we're going to hold you to that. And if you don't stick to your word, there will be consequences. It's time. Straight up. Should and will be consequences for everything that these motherfuckers do to us. Straight up. The Most High is showing, he has revealed so many of these people's false pretenses, their BS that they're doing every single day. It is being revealed every single day. The Most High is not playing with y'all. He has the plan, right? And so when we're looking at this from our perspective as Black Americans, we know what's going on. Karma is a B word, and she ain't playing with these people. Straight up, letting tethers be in Congress. This is what happens, y'all. This right here is what happens when you allow tethers into our spaces as government officials. She's stealing $5 million in FEMA funds from the COVID-19 scam. All right. The COVID-19 scam that they ran on us. She took that money and ran off with it.
The money we invested was to make sure that we can touch the people in the community.
Who's
But
this
money
liar?
didn't determine this election because
A
most
liar.
people put a lot
A
of money in the
bold-faced
community, in their
liar.
campaigns. They don't
With
win.
a hair hat
Federal
on.
prosecutors say Sherfilis McCormick and her brother Edwin Sherfilis ran a FEMA-funded COVID-19 vaccination staffing contract through their family healthcare company. Prosecutors say in July 2021, the company received a $5 million overpayment.
$5 million in overpayment, y'all. This is what they do. The culture of scamming that has been co-opted into our government. And not only that, our government being ran remotely. Our government, again, being ran remotely. If that's not going over y'all heads. Just recently, we saw the Twitter spat where Twitter released the locations of all of these fake bots. All right. This dude in the chat could be a bot right now. This Beat Active guy. These are the accounts right here who sit in chats like mine, who sit in chats of most of these FBA creators, right? And they put their propagandist BS in our chats. They come in our comment sections, creating division. They're sent money from different special interest groups to create division within our communities. James Smalls, Beat Active in my chat right now. These are representations of people who have been sent from other countries to what? Attack Black Americans. Y'all can't tell me we not on top of every angle they're using to manipulate and infiltrate our movements. This dude in the chat over here talking about Adolf Hitler, y'all. I can't put this on my chat because of my demonetized video. I gotta be smart with these dudes because they're not smart at all. Please delete the comment, bro. Like, what are we doing here? See you later. But you gotta understand sometimes that when these things are happening, it's all by design. All right. I watched my channel overnight, y'all. Literally, I had a live stream that had over 10,000 people in it one day. My channel was immediately monetized. I have 5,500 subscribers overnight. And YouTube took all of them. Right? Didn't even make an explanation, nothing. Just took all of them, took the views, everything. So you got to understand that all this stuff is fake. It's all design. They're using it to suppress certain channels. They're using the truth to be convoluted with lies. And we're not going to be playing them games, y'all. Over here, we bring a receipt. And that's why I had to say, I don't understand why Mr. James Smalls is not talking about this story right here.
Prosecutors say the group diverted that money and tried to hide it through multiple accounts. The indictment says a large portion of those funds was used for campaign contributions and personal expenses. Prosecutors allege the South Florida Democrat and Nadege LeBlanc arranged additional donations using straw donors.
Look at the names, y'all. Look at these names, okay? Nadege LeBlanc. That don't sound like FBA to me. All right? That don't sound FBA to me. That sound like some tether behavior. Word. And look, this is what we're seeing, okay? Misappropriated funds from the COVID-19 relief program that is being deviated from a FEMA account that is supposed to be helping Americans. She 100% is in a Black American district. Look at all them Black people behind her. You think that money helped them Black people behind her? Maybe the ones with them pearls on, right? Maybe them ones with them pearls on, but not the ones with their makeshift t-shirts. All right? That money being taken and used for her own lifestyle to be able to make her campaign. This is what's happening. I want to know why Mr. James Smalls is not talking about this. He had a lot to say about Black Americans. He had a lot to say about FBA, but he ain't got nothing to say about the real Congresswoman who's in office right now. Who's in office right now. All right? And this is what's going to start happening. And I'm prophesizing right now. I'm going to make a prophecy. Okay? More foundational Black Americans are going to start running for office. then y'all really gonna be in trouble. All right, because it's a lot of us, quiet as kept, okay? Because I am very connected with a lot of people who are in these circles, affluent Black Americans. A lot of people are positioning themselves to use their platforms and their influence to get into these positions of these congresswomen and men and being able to push the narrative for FBA. I'm making the prophecy right now. All right? Because look, when I say Black Americans need to stay focused, this is what I'm talking about. When you have people who are congressmen, congresswomen who are doing these type of things, Ilhan Omar over there in Minnesota, right? We just saw Mamdani in New York. You don't think Black Americans aren't paying attention to what these fools are saying and what they're doing, how they're moving? I'm telling y'all, Black Americans are going to start positioning themselves with their influence and their own entities to be able to get into these spaces in Congress, all right? AOCs, all these other people who are fighting for their own special interest. Black Americans are about to start pushing that line. And I'm going to go even further. This one might, be a little radical, but whatever. We are going to start our own political party at one point. There will be a foundational Black American political party. Please believe that. All right? Because our lineage deserves to be our own entity away from everybody else. And I'm telling you that's coming. Y'all can take this video, clip it. I don't care what you have to say. That is the prophecy. The prophecy is Americans first, Black Americans first. Black Americans first, foundational Black Americans first. All right. There will be people who are going to come within our spaces who are going to be making those moves. Like I just showed on my channel, I have receipts. All right. We already have legislation right here in California that is being passed for foundational Black Americans. All right. I have direct connections with Lauren Richardson, and I'm telling y'all, I'm going to get that interview. Not only with her, but the organizers of that bill. And it's going to happen right here on this channel. So y'all be on the lookout for that. But at the same time, we are making those moves. And that's the important part. Staying focused. That's what we're talking about. Because guess what? Women like this rep, Sheila Sherfullis McCormick, who is using her influence and using her resources to take away from our resources and things that we need as Black Americans, that needs to stop. And it's going to stop because you already saw a lot of these people getting voted out. All right. We are watching what they're doing. We're watching how they're moving. No more just talk anymore. You can sell us the dream, but we want to know the tangibles. Reparations and cash payment, reparations and land grants, family. That's what we're looking for. Ain't no negotiation. That's just what it is. And if y'all got a problem with that, too bad. It's too bad. Just because you're not entitled to it, too bad. That's so sad. But guess what? We're done fighting everybody else's fight. It's time to fight for us and what we want. And guess what? We're tired of being gaslighted about being selfish when everybody else is. No more of that shit. Nah. They've been trying to gaslight us as foundational Black Americans to not be selfish. All right, to not represent who we are, to not have pride in who we are, to not say, if you're stealing from us, give us our shit back. Nah, bro, everybody else can be petty. Everybody else can take ownership of their own lineage and their own heritage. Guess what? It's our time now. Enough. Enough with all the BS that y'all tried to play, bro. We have gone and changed that narrative, family. And when I said, when you have representation, like this woman here in Florida stealing and misappropriating funds for FEMA. Yeah, right, bro. Y'all really think this shit is going to keep going on? It's not, dog. You're tripping. FBA, stay focused, right? Stay focused. Do not allow the distraction tactics to take away from what we're trying to do here. The goal is reparations. The goal is organization. The goal is passing all these types of anti-hate bills that need to come for Black Americans. How is there not an anti-Black hate bill? They got one for the anti-Asian bill. Remember that? Asian hate. We need one for the Black American hate. Police brutality. Mass incarceration. We need all that to be restructured before we talking about anybody else's problems. The homelessness community. Unemployment rates. All right? People getting moved out of their own hometowns. All right? The gentrification of our neighborhoods and communities. All this, bro. All this needs to be talked about. And guess what? With platforms like mine and platforms like these other foundational Black American platforms that I've seen and come across, and I'm very proud of, salute to them. Because it needs to be more of us who come out here using our platforms, using our influence to help and to raise awareness for what's going on in our community. That's why I'm here. That's why if you look at my channel, you'll see the videos that represent what we're doing, what we're on, our history, our lineage, my history, my family history. All right? Straight up. My family came here from Clarksville, Texas, before that Mississippi, before that Louisiana. All right? All the way to California, family. Straight up. Let's go. FBA political party. That's right. That's facts. Let's go. That's real talk. Because I'm telling you, that's what the next step is. Y'all think it's a lie. Y'all think it's a game. This is the futurist thoughts that Black Americans have always had. We always ahead of the curve, y'all. Y'all know that. We always ahead of the curve. And that's the next step. Right? The next step is foundational Black Americans organizing our own voting block. Because we understand that whatever side you on, right or left, they not looking out for Black Americans. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. We are having to go ahead and do that. We have to separate ourselves and have our own political block. Because guess what? We have our own political agendas. I just stated like 6. Reparations, 1. Anti-hate bill for Black folks. Mass incarceration, police brutality. Okay? Let's figure out why we're not getting the loans that are necessary for small businesses. Right? All the small businesses that out here, all these Black people who could use a small business loan, a small business grant to be able to open up storefronts and build up our own communities. You know how many Black people, Black Americans would actually be helped from having their own brick and mortar? When I go out here in LA or in Long Beach and I could see as many Mexican taco shops and Asian nail salons that I could see. I can't have one Black soul food spot, one Black hair salon. Come on, man. That don't sound right to me. Something not right about that. And guess what? Black Americans, we got to stand on business about that now. What's up? We got to change that now. The real estate market, the way that that's set up, we got to change that. So many real estate agents that I know, realtors, all this stuff having to go through hell just because they trying to sell in a certain community that certain, realtors don't want them to be in because they know we bringing the sauce, right? All that, I see it every single day, man. I'm boots on the ground. A lot of these other creators, they're gonna tell you from a deviated lens, right? They own little space that they up in. You feel me? I'm actually boots on the ground. I'm out here. Like I said, my family runs a food bank right here in Long Beach, man. I see the devastation of the community and what's happening out here every day on these streets. So when I'm out here trying to make sure that the narrative is being debunked, that Black men are represented in a certain type of light, right? When they trying to talk down on us, trying to say Black Americans is this, we a cult. We co-opt by, the alphabet, government, communities, CIA, FBI. Bro, please. You're the one who's co-opt. You're the one who's going against us. You're the turncoat, family. Like I just played what Mr. James Smalls was on before he was talking all that Pan-Africanist, talking down on Black Americans BS. Brought it to the table because that's what we do at Elite Media. We bring receipts. We don't got time for this. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and make sure you guys support Black American channels because you know what else I've been seeing? I've been seeing a lot of reaction channels and different channels talking about Black American issues, and they not even here. They're African channels, places that ain't even, you can tell they not in America. And they get views, 50,000 views, 100,000 views on certain videos and stuff. I'm like, where did these channels come from? The audio don't even be matching up. Y'all help me understand how that's going on, right? And like I just mentioned, we just saw the whole Twitter thing where they were showing everybody in all these different countries, these bots. You can't tell me it's not co-op, family. These dudes got remote channels who don't even know how to speak English for real. And they got thousands of views posting other people's content. Black American content. All right. They're going on TikTok. They're going on Facebook. They aggregating all these videos so that I could watch some African in the middle of some garage somewhere holding the thing up to his face, but ain't saying nothing but letting other people get the views. Because they actually bringing something real to the table, tangible, actual content. Y'all tell me if y'all been seeing that too, because I've been seeing that. And I think it's a problem. I be having to block it. Straight up, because I'm trying to support other Black American content creators who deserve the views, who deserve the monetization. But guess what? They over here also milking off of the conversation that we having when it comes to Black delineation and what's going on in the Black community. Ain't that something? If that ain't a leech, I don't know what is, man. We be sitting back here trying to be cordial, trying to, open our doors up. Like I said, rolled out the red carpet for them to come here, to be able to live life, be able to take their whole shit to the next level. And for what? What thanks do we get? Always talked down on, always called this or that, disrespected. Now we got James Smalls, who used to be pro FBA. Now he talking about, they're a special interest group that's co-opted by the government, the CIA, and FBI. The nerve, bro. The nerve. I'm going to bring this up one last time before I get out of here, because it just needs to be shown how fake these people are and how they're just fake, bro. And ain't nobody got time for this fake stuff when real talk, there's a lot of real issues going on within our community. And that's why I said stay focused. Foundational Black Americans, stay focused. Because watch, look at this.
You got the African Day Parade. You don't see the Africans. You got the festival that be going on in Brooklyn. The band festival, the African festivals. Where's the Africans at? When we doing our rallies and our marches, where's the Africans at on your side? Talk to us really about that, man.
See, let me tell you something. We think slavery in America was something. Slavery in Africa is still in force. You talking about deaf, blind, and dumb. Don't confuse you because somebody got on some printed cloth that's printed in Holland or India that you're looking at an African cultural expression. That's not an African cultural expression. That cloth was printed in a European country and then sold to Africans. And they've accepted that as their cloth. You understand what I'm saying? Just that piece. Now, they do speak the language.
Listen, this is who they saying is gonna debunk FBA. This is him. This is why I make it clear, man. The receipts are always there. The internet is undefeated. Everything that these people come on here and say, you can go back and find all this other contrary double talking. This is the definition of double talk. On one side, you talking down on FBA. On the other side, just a couple years ago, you saying this.
But they know less about their history than you and I do. So you've got a deaf, blind, dumb, backwards person speaking an African language, coming from the African country, came here to be a parasite on their own people with no respect for themselves as human beings, and then because they speak a language, try to play you off like they got something culturally that you don't have.
Listen, man, this is the double talk I was telling you guys. This is the double talk right here. Okay? For whatever you want to say, okay? Mr. James Small, please come to the front of the line. Please help me understand that you are a liar and a contradictory individual. The nerve to come on here and talk down on Black Americans when all we did was exactly what all y'all told us to do. Get ourselves together, get our community together, focus on what's in our community. And guess what? Now everybody mad. And like the brother said, all right, like FBA Maroon said, them dollars start drying up when the delineation start happening. And now they mad. Well, that's too bad, bro, because we don't care about that. It's bigger than just money for us. All right. We have to represent us because nobody else will. We found that out. We have no allies. So with that being said, we're going to go our own way and focus on ourselves. We don't got time to be playing games with y'all. Going back and forth about a conversation that's already deaded. Y'all left, y'all ran. We stayed in the pocket and fought for ours. And we ain't going nowhere. And that's why we here. That's why we ride the way that we ride. That's why we sit on white people like they ain't nothing, because it's true. We help them. And we still here without nobody else help. What you mean, bro?
The most culturally enforced African in the world is the African American. Most of the movements that have changed the world, that allow all ethnic nations to profit, has been our movement. And so we get peed on and played down because these people are so punked out and scared of the white man that they feel because they're scared of the white man, they got to be against us.
Listen, man, I don't come on here to just say stuff. I come on here to bring a conscious perspective. I'm going to bring my receipts. I'm going to bring my references. And I'm going to try to always articulate myself in the right way that is representative not only to me, but to my people and my family. So when you have hypocrites like this who are distracting Black Americans, I have to come on here and say, stay focused, Black Americans. Do not allow the distraction tactics from fools like this to co-opt the movement and the progression that Black Americans have made in 2025 going into 2026. Okay? We are going into a new year. It is been movement and momentum leading Black Americans into what? A year for a midterm year, guys. Oh, yeah. And we are not playing. We are not playing with y'all. We see what y'all doing. We understand what you're on. We're not going to allow you guys to play with us. Get it together or get out of the way. Get it together or get out of the way. Because we don't have time for y'all. Real talk. Y'all gonna keep sitting around playing games, thinking it's a game, thinking that, oh yeah, Brandon, what are you gonna do? What are the Black Americans gonna do? Because you guys sit up here and say this or that. Stay focused. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna tell Black Americans to stay focused and to not be distracted by men like this who are hypocrites and liars, who are co-opted by special interest groups with money behind them to say disparaging things about Black Americans who, in my opinion, have no interest to even go back and forth with a dude like this. You're old. Get out of the way, family. If you don't want to be a part of the movement, fine. Stay on that side. Go to Africa. Go do that. Go help build whatever they got going on over there. Black Americans, we figuring out how to build what we got here. How to keep growing and keep progressing like Black Americans always do. That's what we focus on. Y'all can focus on whatever they got going on over there, brother. Because listen, this is what he was saying just years ago.
Are they our people, brother, or are we our own people now?
No, we got to understand two things. We have a race and then we have an ethnic place. Ethnically, we African Americans. Just like a guy from Africa, he can say he's African, but there's no country called African. He's either Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, or something. That's his ethnic nation. Racially, we are together, but economically, we may well be enemies, and we have to be clear on that.
And wasn't he cooking? He just cooked them, right? He just cooked. All right? And we are still here trying to understand what a demented human being like this would have to say. Mr. James Small, you were just talking like this years ago. Then to be co-opted? Make sure you like and subscribe, man, because listen, I'm bringing receipts, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow this channel over here to make sure that we continue to bring receipts for losers like this who are continuing to talk down on Black Americans. All right? My narrative is being pushed because I am a Black American. All right? I came from this country. My dad, my grandpa, my great-grandpa, his great-grandfather, all were foundational Black Americans. Straight up. We don't play these games. Salute to Chocolate Diamonds. Salute to you. Thank you for coming through today. Make sure you subscribe because this is how I cook over here. All right? There is no point, no real understanding that a lot of these people can come on here, these guys, right, who, you know, James Small himself is foundational Black American, right? So to see him come on here and talk crazy like this is just absolutely insane, right? Absolutely insane. And I can't allow people to disrespect us as Black Americans when I have people like this that I have to stand up for. This is my ancestors. This is my family right here. This is my great-great-great-grandfather. Look at him. Do that look like an African to you? That looked like a Native American to me. Because guess what? He was. And guess what? You see him? You see that lady, the older lady next to him with the bow tie? That is my great-great-great-grandmother. Okay? She was a Native American. All right? So when people talk about all this crazy stuff, I don't have time for that when I have this history. Okay? This history behind me. My ancestors haunt me in my sleep. All right? That's a Kendrick verse. All right? My ancestors haunt me in my sleep and tell me I'm the one. Yes, 100%, Kendrick. You're right. They do too. Our ancestors have fought blood, sweat, and tears for this country. All right? So when James Small gets on here talking crazy about Black Americans, saying this or that, I always have to bring up the receipts because what a straight up liar and a hypocrite. All right? This is a person who literally just years ago, okay? Just years ago. Let's bring it up.
You got the African Day Parade. You don't see the Africans. You got the festival that be going on in Brooklyn. The band festival, the African festivals. Where's the Africans at? When we doing our rallies and our marches, where's the Africans at on your side? Talk to us really about that, man.
See, let me tell you something. We think slavery in America was something. Slavery in Africa is still in force.
This is the Pan-Africanist, y'all. This is the Pan-Africanist, right? This is what he's saying. Not me. This is what he said. His words. That's why the receipts will always be brought forward. These are his words, not mine. All right? While I do agree 100% with what he is saying, I bring it up because we have to show the hypocrisy. Okay? This was a brother who just a couple of days ago was on a live stream with some African talking about FBAs being co-opted by the CIA and FBI, and he was just saying this. All right? He was just saying this.
You talking about deaf, blind, and dumb. Don't confuse you because somebody got on some printed cloth that's printed in Holland or India that you're looking at an African cultural expression. That's not an African cultural expression. That cloth was printed in a European country and then sold to Africans. And they've accepted that as their cloth.
This is what he was saying in his own words, guys. That's why I say Black Americans, stay focused. Do not allow these people to come in here and talk crazy about us and our ancestors. They will not be accepted and they will be outed as such. Uncle Tom hypocrites.
You understand what I'm saying? Just that piece. Now, they do speak the language, but they know less about their history than you and I do.
Listen, man, y'all got to like and subscribe, man. Y'all got to subscribe to your boy. Subscribe to your boy because, like I said, I'm going to bring receipts. I'm not going to allow Professor James Small to come on here, talk crazy about Black Americans. Meanwhile, this was what he was saying just a couple years ago. We ain't finna allow that up in here. All right? Black Americans is standing on business, and I want y'all to remain focused. Because like I said, the goal and what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish is real. I have videos on my channel speaking on the certain legislation that is happening right now for Black Americans. I have videos on my channel talking about the historical relevance of Black Americans. I have all types of videos here on my channel talking about the history of Black Americans and what we've invented, the trends that we've started, and the things that we have done. So when I hear Professor James Smalls come on here, not only talking crazy about Black Americans, but at the same time having a mural at the brother Tariq Nasheed's place, the disrespect would not be tolerated. That's just facts. It would not be tolerated when he was just talking like this a few years ago.
So you've got a deaf, blind, dumb, backwards person speaking an African language, coming from the African country, came here to be a parasite on their own people with no respect for themselves as human beings, and then because they speak a language, try to play you off like they got something culturally that you don't have. The most culturally enforced African in the world is the African American.
Oh my goodness, this is in his own words, guys. This was somebody who, like I said, just a couple of days ago was talking down on Black Americans just a couple of days ago on some African stream. This is what he was saying years ago. All right. Salute to Miss Janice in the chat. Thank you, Miss Janice. Let's bring her up. She says, I am 68 years old and my husband is 69 years old. FBA. And we are not part of the CIA. We are not part of the FBI or a culture. What we are doing is letting the young men and women lead us now. Black Alpha and Afro Elite. Salute. Salute, Miss Janice. Thank you for coming through and spreading that positivity in my chat. These are the people who speak for us. The elders, for real. All right? When you see people like this, you pay respect. Okay? And salute to Black Alpha and salute to Afro Elite. Okay? From what I understand about Afro Elite, he has a journalism background. So that brother coming with some real stuff behind him. Okay? I don't know much about Black Alpha, but I really enjoy his channel and I love the energy that he brings. Okay? And so when I see, like I said, these channels, people who are doing the work, all right, I 100% align myself with them because that's where we're going with this. Black American content creators and people who have come from different backgrounds, bringing all of their knowledge to this space to speak their own experiences. All right. I come from a business background, right? That's my experience, what I've gone through. I have videos on my channel speaking about my experiences as a Black American in the business world and in corporate America. Okay. And so from that experience, we have a full spectrum. And that's the point. Like she mentioned, Miss Janet mentioned, we are not FBI or CIA, any of that. It is FBA lineage, meaning that we are not a monolith. There are many of us from many different backgrounds who represent many different things, many different outlooks, conservative, liberal, in between, independent. We have them all here. But guess what? We all are underneath the umbrella of being foundational Black Americans. And we are representative of that. And that's why they cannot stop this, because we are not just one. We are everyone. We are many underneath this banner, Black Americans. And so I feel like that's what scares these people. That's what puts them off, right? Is because of this. All right, look at this. All right, boom, right here. This is my family. These are my ancestors. Okay, this is my history. So when people try to say that FBA is a cult, how? This is what FBA is. Our ancestry. Okay? You tell me what these people look like. All right? Because guess what? I see a lot of different shades of melanin, don't I? I see some native roots, don't I? Yeah, I do. I see that because that's where I come from. Right? So when I see this, when I hear people talking crazy, oh yeah, FBA, you guys are this. No. We are a lineage, guys. We are representative of this right here. This is what we represent. Our ancestors. We represent the name on our back, right? Foundational Black American is in the heart, fam. It's in our genealogy. It's in our bloodline. This ain't no, oh yeah, today we just woke up and chose to be this. No. This is who we were born. This is our birthright. I don't see anybody talking down on anybody else's birthrights, where they come from, who they are, except Black Americans. So you cannot tell me that there isn't power in that. How powerful of a people that when we start to organize and we start to come together, it makes others uncomfortable. You can't tell me that ain't power. Straight up. We are the trendsetters. We're the ones who take these things to the next level. We're the ones who make things better. Straight up. Saving people's lives every single day out here. Covering for people who can't do the job or can't get the job done. Right? That's where I come from. Corporate America. Motherfuckers couldn't get the job done. Who they gonna call? They gonna call Brandon B to get the job done. And that's facts. So when I come with that certain level of confidence, when I see my other Black American brothers come with that level of confidence and how much that makes people uncomfortable, I'm leaning into that, bro. And guess what? And if you got a problem with it, come do something, because you ain't gonna do shit. And that's facts. That's facts. 100%. Everybody could talk. All right. Y'all could talk on the internet. It's real cool to talk on the internet, but I guarantee you, Professor James ain't talking that in person. Because look, it's
most of the movements that have changed the world, that allow all ethnic nations to profit, has been our movement. And so we get peed on and played down because these people are so punked out and scared of the white man that they feel because they're scared of the white man, they got to be against us.
Hey, wasn't he cooking for somebody who was so mad? Somebody who had so much to say about FBA. This is what he was saying. Don't get out of your bag, FBA. Stay focused. Salute to Elander Williams. Thank you for the love. Elander, thank you. Elander, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But salute to y'all. Thank you so much. Hey, back in the chat, Chocolate Diamonds, keep cooking, fam. Just like and subscribe. We ain't playing with no tethers or tone curls. For real, for real. Thank you, brother or sister. Thank you, Chocolate Diamonds. And that's real. We ain't got time for this when, like I said, the internet is undefeated. And who runs the internet? Black Americans. We run the internet. They want to play. They suppress our channels. They suppress our views. They suppress everything that we do. They steal our dances. They steal our trends and then try to turn around and make it theirs. We the ones who make this stuff hot. We are the ones. And guess what? Now that we are doing what we're supposed to, they can't handle it. This is James Smalls just a few years ago. Listen, y'all.
Are they our people, brother, or are we our own people now?
No, we got to understand two things. We have a race and then we have an ethnic place. Ethnically, we African Americans. Just like a guy from Africa, he can say he's African, but there's no country called African. He's either Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, or something. That's his ethnic nation. Racially, we are together, but
this is who they want to put against us. He cannot win. He will lose. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. All right, that's what the Most High said. I didn't say that. I just am the messenger. Okay, I don't have to sit around here and play these games. The Most High gonna handle it every single time for Black Americans, because we done enough. Our blood, sweat, and tears are out here on these streets every single day. All right, I see my brothers and sisters out here in the corporate world. I see them in the political sector. I see them every day on the construction sites, blue collar, in the warehouses, doing what they gotta do. So people want to talk down and say, oh, Black Americans is lazy, Black Americans is this or that. But then in reality, they want everything that we got. Y'all help me understand how that works. Please help me understand how that works, y'all, because I don't understand how that works. Listen to this dude. This is what he was saying, not me, him.
Economically, we may well be enemies. And we have to be clear on that, that our economic enemy is just that. And if you deal with your economic enemy like it's your friend, you're going to be the loser at the end of the day. Now, we raised the question of Pan-Africanism in this hemisphere. You know, we had the brothers from Trinidad, and then you had W.B. Du Bois, and we created this phenomena. But Africa has never created a Pan-African movement. Never. You understand? Africa has never really supported a Pan-African movement.
Y'all help me understand who this man is. Who is this? Is this the same guy who was just talking about FBA is divisive? How are we divisive when he just spoke the truth? There is no pipeline for us. All right? The only pipeline that was created was Black Americans creating a pipeline for immigration to come and be able to be benefited for all nations. All right? Africans, Asians, Latinos, Russians, Europeans. We helped all of these protected classes, right? That's what they call them, the protected classes, right? Not understanding that. I wanted to play this clip. Now, listen, I don't know if y'all movie buffs, but I'm a big movie buff. I love movies, right? Y'all remember the movie Gangs of New York? You remember the Butcher, who was the racist, foundational American? Y'all remember him? And remember that speech that he had when he was talking about that he wasn't cool with them Irish coming over here because there was going to be an erasure of his American heritage, and that they would take just a little bit less than the N-word would? This is pre-Civil War revolutionary stuff, right? This is set before that. These are the first colonies of New York. Word. The one that Mandani said that immigrants created. Remember that? Remember this, okay? So when he was stating this, what he was saying was that at the end of the day, right, everyone is benefiting from what's happening right now because Black Americans have built this. White man couldn't do nothing without us, without our ancestors, right? So now we got to go ahead and fight. Right? We got to fight for this. And then we fight for this. And we like, hey, yo, y'all come over here. Y'all can help us. And they say, nah, we going to help them. That's the thanks we get. That's the thanks our ancestors get for rolling out the red carpet for y'all. VIP treatment. Giving y'all all these, grants and help to start businesses, open up businesses while Black American businesses are struggling. We can't even get a business loan. But y'all, we got the red carpet straight up for y'all, ready to go. Help me understand this, man, because it don't make no sense to me. This is what he was saying. This is what the man that they sent to distract Black Americans. This is what he did.
We had a couple of people in Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere and Mugabe, but most of Africa never gave a damn about a Pan-Africanism because they're still bogged down in the colonial slavery of European Judeo-Christian indoctrination, which is worse than anything that we've suffered.
Oh my God, guys, these people are so easy to beat because the internet is undefeated. And like I said, who are in the internet? Black Americans. We run the internet. All right? And we got mad people who are growing us, who are putting us up, who are continuing to grow the numbers. Like y'all in here right now. Once this channel gets monetized and we take this to the next level and I'm able to expand I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be a wrap. Because the ideology and the mentality of a lot of these content creators is not based in substance. It's based in feeding the ego. And that's all I saw. I saw Professor James with his ego up there, mad. Because he not at the forefront of what's going on. And he want a peace. He want to be able to control the impressionable minds of Black Americans. And we not allowing it. So now we got to deal with this stuff. Now he got to deal with it head on. You got a problem? All right, bro, let's talk about it. But guess what? We're going to bring the receipts. Because we're not going to allow you to just talk. Ain't nobody going to hop on this internet and debate with me, and I'm not finna bring no receipts to debunk every little talking point that you're trying to have. I'm going to strip you. I'm going to strip you of every argument. Just to make sure that I'm on your ass. All right? Because that's what we do. Y'all remember when you was at school, right? And somebody shoot on you, got something to say about what you doing, what you wearing, whatever. Guess what? If you didn't have a comeback, it made you better. All right, cool. I'm going to make myself unshootable. Ain't nobody going to be able to say nothing about me. And guess what? That's what happens. You got to make yourself bulletproof out here. And guess what, Mr. James? You have plenty of holes in your story, family. Too many holes for anybody to really be able to go back and forth with you. And that's why I think Tariq taking the way that he taking it, he just gonna distance himself, say I'm good, and that's that. Because he don't want no smoke with Tariq. Tariq gonna be able to strip him of every argument that he got. All right? Because I could do it. And I'm a small channel. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here, bro. Y'all make sure you like and subscribe, man. Please make sure you like and subscribe because I appreciate all the commentary, everybody coming through here, showing me love. We're going to continue to expose the fake. That's just what we do at Elite Media, bro. We bring receipts. We ain't going to allow people to just talk crazy about Black Americans without no pushback. You crazy. Fucking crazy.
Worse than anything that we've suffered. The illusion of the clothes and the language make us think we're dealing with somebody that has some African purity culturally and spiritually. You're dealing with a confused, backwards Christian that love Europe more than they love their own ancestors. They would not even use an African word for God. You know, in Ghana, if you talk about being a traditional African, you might get beat down in the street.
But they want us to be Africans, though. Right? They want us to be Africans, though. He want us to be Africans, though. He want us to claim that lineage, right? It's hilarious, man. Hilarious, bro. Be Active is back in the chat. Let's see what he has to say. FBA, it's a hate group dedicated to provoke your people. Oh, God. Listen, guys, this is what I mean when I say the distraction tactics. These are the people who be in our chats, who are just sitting here to distract and talk crazy in the chat. I'm not lying to y'all. This is the co-ops that be happening. And like I said, there was just a report. We saw what Twitter just did with all those bot accounts that were from overseas who were used to push anti-Black rhetoric, who are also a part of these gossip blogs, these gossip channels pushing fake narratives against Black Americans. All right, we saw that already, right? So now, like I said, they're in our chats. They're here talking crazy, calling us a hate group. They're calling us a hate group? A hate group because we are a representative of our lineage. Be active. Go suck a fat one, bro. You're just a hater. You're a hater, not us. Salute to ZZ Dom. Thank you for the chat, family. Salute. You know what I'm saying? But this who I'm representing, Mr. Beat Active. Mr. Beat Active, this is what I represent. Do this look like a hate group to you? This looks like a picture of a family. That's my family. That's my family right there. These are my ancestors right here. All right? This is my legacy. This is my lineage. This ain't no hate group. What that look like to you? That look like a family to me. That look like a family, right? So when you get on here talking crazy, I don't care what you have to say in the chat, bro, because all it does is help my engagement grow up, bro. Thank you for the engagement. stay in the chat talking crazy, but it's not going to do anything because the real people who are here, who are supporting my channel, who want to see these type of comments and these type of topics be brought to the forefront, they're the ones who I care about, bro. And that's what we do here. Black Americans, we build. We're builders. Okay? We are not destroyers like them people, like the colonizers. All right? We are actual, factual builders. We build. We do not destroy. We come on here. We build communities. We build health centers. We help other people with their healing. We are, like I said, the salt of the earth when it comes to America. Black Americans have been through the most and overcame the most. We show the most love. We help the most people. And the fact that we still have to deal with this projection. This is projections, guys. They are projecting their own hate onto us because we are taking pride in who we are. The Most High is starting to shine on Black Americans, and they cannot handle it. They see what's coming. They know what's coming. When Donald Trump is addressing the Black American community, that hurts them. Who are the descendants of birthrights, citizenship? Black Americans, descendants of slaves. Don't be silly. That's what Donald Trump said. Okay? Not us. He said that. We are the descendants of that. Birthright citizenship, we are the descendants of that. So when I see people coming in the chat talking crazy like this Be Active guy who has no substance, who's just spamming in the chat, projecting his own hate onto foundational Black Americans, he will have to get cooked just like Professor James Small just got cooked, just like the Republican Sheena Stroferless McCormick, who's stealing money right now. Hey, Be Active, why don't you go talk about that? Why don't you go talk about the Haitian who is stealing money from actual tax-paying Floridians? Go talk about that, bro. Go in somebody's chat who's talking about that. Don't come in my chat when I'm trying to keep my people focused. We trying to keep Black Americans focused, keep our eyes on the prize. And like I said, the prize being reparations and cash payments, an anti-Black American hate bill, straight up, police brutality, we need a restructuring of that. Prison reform, yes. All right? Reparations and land grants that are owed to foundational Black Americans, Native Black Americans. All right? That's the goal. We don't got time for this. We got to focus on what's important. And what's important, like I said, the overall futurism is Black Americans controlling Black America. Black politicians, Black CEOs, Black entrepreneurs and business owners. All right? Using our dollar to circulate within our own community and debunking, right? Debunking the narrative that Black dollars do not circulate. That is also a myth. There was a myth going around that the Black dollar does not circulate, and I have video evidence to prove that that was a lie. All right? So you guys be on the lookout for that next video that I'm going to drop. It might go live tomorrow with the young lady who actually did a very extensive video about the Black American dollar circulation. That myth that they put on us saying that we don't circulate the Black dollar. I always knew that was a lie. All right? Because a lot of the people that I grew up with, the places that I circulate to, those were owned and operated by Black Americans. All right? I just dropped a video about the Black American experience in the Black barbershop. Y'all make sure to check that out. You feel me? Hey, salute to Lord's Child 673. Thank you for coming through. I support FBA only. Support. That's facts, bro. Make sure you support me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. FBA all day. That's just what we on. All right? It's our lineage. It's who we are. Right here, guys. This right here. This is who I am. This ain't no hate group. This is who we are. These are our ancestors. This is my ancestors. This is my family. All right? I'm not finna hop on here and talk crazy about something that ain't me. All right? Black Americans, we are a lineage. We don't have to be focused on people trying to distract us, calling us a hate group when they're projecting their own insecurities onto Black Americans. All right? This is who we are, guys. We represent ourselves. Okay? We are on the path. Like I said, Blacks in general, all right? We've just been seeing this influx of how we are being treated as well in hospitals. So the Black Americans need to start focusing on the medical field. We got a lot of medical nurses who are Black women, and I appreciate that. Love. Now we need more Black men as doctors, as nurses, all right? Because we see what's going on, all right? In these private sectors, okay? Small businesses, all these medical carriers and stuff need to be Black owned. Straight up. Because there's a lane for that. And we need to make sure that we focus on that because our people are being harmed in these hospitals and in the medical field. All right? So the more we start to focus on that, the more we get into Black tech, right? STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Once we start to infiltrate into there, you feel me? We're going to make it, y'all. Well, we got to stay focused. We got to stay positioned on what is important. All right? So I'm gonna hop off here because, you know, I'm a real person. I got stuff to do. But thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate everybody who's come through today. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, man, because this is what we do here. We bring receipts. We don't just allow people to talk crazy about Black Americans. We always gonna stand on business every single time, man. It's FBA first or nothing. B1. Straight up. So salute to everybody out there. Thank you guys so much for coming through, man. This was a great stream. I really appreciate everybody who's showing love. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We definitely need that because we're growing here. We're trying to make the channel into something that could be actually enjoyed by Black Americans and everyone alike. So make sure you guys subscribe, man. My name is Brandon B. This is Elite Media, and I'm out, man. Peace.